everyone, stand up. This is going to be a warm-up called a circle pass. Here we have different examples of producers. And what we are going to do to warm up our bodies and our ways to act out different animals is we are going to pass around a movement or an action that shows that we are producers. So tell me again, what are some examples? Let's hear an example of a producer.
Flower.
A flower. All right. So if Miss Body begins with her movement, whatever she decides a flower is, she is going to come up with a cue that will show the next person that it's time for that person to start. What's a cue?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, what's a cue?
It's like just to show when somebody should start.
To show when somebody should start. When the person next to you looks at you, you take that action that the person has, take it on, copy it, and hand it to the person next to you by looking. So we are going to all do the same action, not the same action that the first person did, the action that the person who gives you the cue did. All right, so we'll start with Mrs. Body with whatever she feels a flower looks like.
They trust each other a lot more. They have to trust each other. You have to know who you're working with. They have a lot more sensitivity towards each other. Who's shy, who might not be shy, who's willing to put themselves out there, who can be really funny. And that, it doesn't matter what they do, it's going to be accepted. That no one's, they may be laughing with them, but they're not going to laugh at them. So it's really helped become a community builder for us.
On the count of 3, we're all going to show whatever consumer we are. 1, 2, 3. Good. And when I hit the drill, we go back to neutral. Good job. We have our drum again. All right, so what we are going to do is continue with the circle pass, but this time we are each going to be our individual types of consumers and pass it when, what is the cue for us to pass it this time? Should we add a sound? Yeah. Stick out your tongue. Stick out your tongue?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. And maybe let's add a sound of our consumer. Yes. Whatever sound you feel your consumer would make. And we stick out our tongues to show the person next to us the cue. Any volunteers to begin? All right. You begin, and we will go this way. Hey, Baboose.
We actually, even this year, concentrated more than we ever have before on the skills, especially the skills that are in the state standards that are associated with theater. All teachers want students to become good audience listeners, you know, people who can pay attention. But we've really worked with cues and with giving good critique and just the whole host of things that we've been asked to concentrate on. So I feel like we have developed not just the vocabulary and the comprehension, but the theater skills that we've been asked to work on, and they really are enjoying it. So. I think they know that one well.
Is it a squirrel eating an
Yeah. Yes. What a very different adaptation of them, wasn't it? It was very different.
Like reading it, it's going to be like, oh yeah, and then we're in class and we just read this thing. It's kind of like a boring memory. It might not stick, but you're going to go home and tell your parents, and we acted this out and we did all this fun stuff, and you'll tell them all the stuff that you learned and all the stuff that you did, and you'll remember it more because you told them and because it's a good memory and you'll think about it and enjoy it.
So where do all food chains have to start from? The sun. All right. In order to do these food chains, we're going to put you in different places around the world. We're going to put you in what's called a biome.
3 of you. One of you will be a producer, another one will be a consumer, another one will be a decomposer, and the 4th person will be the chain builder, helping direct and organize how the chain comes together. Okay? Okay, let's have excellent audience behavior for this group.
Okay.
And we'll know they're ready to begin when they're in position.
Okay.
Take 2.
Really diverse population here. We have numerous ELL or English language learners and kids whose reading levels are at all different places. And being able to introduce the drama has helped everybody grasp the concepts. Doesn't matter what your first language is, you can figure out a food chain if you've been part of a food chain.
You can think about what you're doing, but the audience can't see you thinking, so you have to think about how your actions can show.
Oh my heavens, once you have been the transfer of momentum, you understand the transfer of momentum. I mean, they've been the bowling ball, they've knocked the cues over. I think for physics especially, it's been very helpful. And sometimes in the ecology unit, the words get dense, the vocabulary gets dense, there's a lot of it. But I have a feeling that you could ask any kid in that class right now what any of that vocabulary meant, and they could give you a very thorough understanding of it, as opposed to just memorizing it from the book for a test. They know it, they don't just know it.
We know producers, consumers, decomposers. We notice we can have you act on decomposers. Those are hard. Okay, that's fungus and bacteria and things like that. Now we just want to make sure that you understand these words. Give me some examples of an herbivore, and can anybody tell me exactly what an herbivore is? Definitely.
A rabbit is an herbivore, and an herbivore is an animal that eats plants.
It's only plant life. Right. How about carnivores? What's a carnivore? Evelyn.
It's an animal that only eats meat.
Only eats meat. All right, so what kind of teeth would a meat eater have? Come on.
Shark one.
Shark. Give me an example.
Like a lion.
Lions. They don't eat plants. They only feel your front teeth. The sharp ones in the front, they're called your canines. Why would they be called your canines? Megan? Dogs have those same kind of sharp teeth. Are dogs meat eaters or plant eaters?
Both.
They only eat plants when they're not feeling well. Okay, they're mostly just meat eaters, yes. You have those sharp canine teeth, so you would be an interesting combination, wouldn't you? Animals that will eat both plants and animals. What are they called?
They're omnivores.
Omnivores. Do you guys know what the word omni means? What do you think, Emily?
Everything.
Everything. Are any of these producers?
No, so.
Nothing here growing out of the ground? Yes, you need to be growing out of the ground to be a producer.
One of you is a producer, any producer you choose. The other one is a consumer, eating on the producer.
Let's figure out how you're going to make that tree, and how are we going to do it? What do you guys do? Well, think about it. Let you practice for a minute.
it let kids who sometimes don't have any access to material truly internalize it, and it belongs to them now, and they understand it and they know it.
Nice work today, guys.
Give yourselves applause.
And that's really exciting.